lot of times we're traveling down a road or a path or whatever it may be, and then we stop and we look at the road itself and realize it's made up of smaller components. These components is what makes up the actual road. Now, the question I've got for you is, do you want to explore what is inside or outside? This is what we want to look at. Are we looking at every little component along the way? Or are we just taking for granted we're on a road? Welcome to another episode of the Majuto Effect, technically part 2. So earlier I mentioned about our perceptions, about how we see things and we try to determine what they are by defining them with a label. And I mentioned timing as well. Well, with timing, it's not about being at the right place at the right time, as much as being hearing or experiencing things in a timely manner. Now, what I mean by that is when you see things, it could be something in the past or even the future. Time doesn't necessarily exist in other planes, so our definition of time is skewed. So with that being said, as I mentioned before, a lot of times we focus too much on labels, defining the path, the road that we're on. But are we truly looking and experiencing the path? Now, I can hold a class on teaching everyone how to meditate and teaching everyone how to do evocations and invocations. But I'm teaching you my experience. As a student, it's your responsibility to take that information and expand on it. Let's go back to the road concept. In that short video clip, and I'm going to replay it here, you see where I transition from left, right, center. When I bent over to pick up the rock, I had the video skewed. These are symbolisms. A teacher will show you where to look. It's up to you to open your eyes. If you notice in the video, I showed myself on multiple paths on the same road. Left, right, center, whatever your label is. But it's when all worlds combine, when I've been over to pick up the rock, is when we become truly awakened. Now, the road is important. The way we travel, the way we see our path outlined. But we each experience that path in a different way. The end of the road is the same, no matter what, we get from point A to point B. But the way you do it may be different from the way I do it. And the way I do it, vice versa. So, a person that has already traveled this path, be cautious. They could have just been focused on the end of the road and missed all the little pebbles along the way. Whereas you may stop at every step and take notice of every one. This makes your time on this path a lot longer. Whereas the other person may have done it in record time. Now, I mentioned, are you looking internal or external? They're one and the same. They're connected. We've already seen in previous episodes where I put the neurological map up and I put the map of the universe. You see it tied together. Here, you can see, reaching in, seeing the neurons firing off. And as these neurons are firing off, more information, more energy is being released. I like to look at it as syncing up to what the universe has in store for us. And as we're traveling and exploring, time and space becomes more and more bent, distorted. With that being said, we can also manifest and project out, become with a lot more things. Now, whether you want to call this nirvana, or if you want to call this self-enlightenment, awakenings, this is a process that goes on for quite some time. But this is looking internally to look externally. Or are they one and the same? They are one and the same, technically. Because we are part of everything. That's how come practitioners, in general, are able to connect between each other and the environment around them. But let's look deeper within ourselves. Scientists are right now exploring data capability of the DNA strand. They're kind of doing a little bit of a Sudoku, trying to do this remapping for storage. But the storage capability is phenomenal. Now, this is in the DNA strand. What if every time you do a past life regression, you light that incense and that trigger happens? You go into an environment, you get the deja vu. What if these are locked memories in your DNA? It's not very far-fetched anymore. It used to be really far-fetched. But nowadays, it's a reality. Yes, a lot of it's still theory. But who's to say, as we're scanning through our DNA, through our magical beliefs, or through metaphysics, or even just meditation, and you're reaching out to connect, are you just accessing different data banks? I'm not asking for anyone to believe that this is a possibility. I'm asking that people quit labeling. Look at the world with open eyes. See the symbols around you, like my intro. Basic symbolism. And as people find information, don't rely on what one person says on his path. That's how we do it. There's no other way. Explore on your own a little bit. Experiment. These are things that you have to explore on your own. Why I say in the past, without fear and without prejudices. As human beings, we're ingrained somewhat, we may say we're not prejudiced in any shape, fashion, or form, but we could be using that as an anchor to keep us from looking. Our safety net. Fear is the hardest thing. They kind of go hand in hand, but fear is your own doubts in what you're capable of doing in this context. So, keep in mind, and all I ask is just keep an open mind when you're reaching out to connect with each other and what else is out there, whether it's another dimension or whatnot. You're connecting truly with yourself. Whether it's other dimensions, angelic beings, demons, these labels change from day by day. Usually depending on what fear has developed. Some cultures, there are no angels, there's only demons. Some are good, some are bad, but they're just still labeled demons. Some cultures recognize that angels originated in Assyria, and the shape and form was adopted later on. Some cultures look at angels as multidimensional beings, the same equivalent of aliens. Gods that walk the earth. Not to quote the ancient astronaut theories, but they're out there. These are perceptions of labels that are needed. So, explore the universes. Hold no boundaries. And realize that at the end of the day, we're all connected. We are with each other, with time, through frequency and energy. And let's see that where that takes you in your studies. Because if you open up a book and it says, this is the only way, and you'll find another book on the same topic, this is the only way. Be advised. Look for the common denominators and build that on your own. Build your own theories. You are the key for the development. I think I'm just going to close that right there. Is that you have to realize, no matter where you're looking at neurons, atomic particles, spatial clusters, birthing nebula, a black hole. I know a few of those. So, either way, you notice there's a constant in all these different things. It's you. You're a part of all this. If you're looking for divine intervention, looking for some grand inspiration, look inside first. Be amazed at what you'll find. Thank you for watching another episode of the Medutu Effect. Matthew Lay. Stay tuned. Got more coming.